Hey, Tony Jones.
I'm the Reverend Russell, and this is the Hardest Question video blog. We're in Pentecost 3.
Pentecost 3, and Jesus is talking about the kingdom of God in parables, and Mark tells us
Yeah,
he only spoke about these things in parables.
in parables. And then explain things to his disciples later.
And Jesus talked about other things without using parables.
Right.
So I wonder, a hard, tricky theological or textual question for me is why, when it comes to the kingdom of God, does Jesus only speak in parables? I think the easy answer is because, the kingdom of God, it has no,
There is no way to speak about it
there's
plainly.
no point of reference for human beings, so he uses these allegorical things like seeds and plantings and farmers and fields and
Yeah,
but that seems a little Sunday school answery for me. I mean, Jesus could have said some positive, affirmative words about the kingdom.
you think if anybody would be able to articulate what
Yeah,
the kingdom of
yeah.
God is like, it would be Jesus.
Right, and it's funny how many people since then have tried to. I mean, even Paul really does. He doesn't
Yeah.
talk. Paul doesn't talk parabolically.
Right.
Paul talks about the kingdom very straightforwardly in a lot of ways, doctrinally almost.
Yeah. Well, then it says in this text too that Jesus always spoke to them in parables, but then he spoke to them as they were able to hear it.
Yeah, so I wonder if he's making determinations on the fly. Like, is he
Yeah.
reading the crowd?
Yeah,
And like,
right.
I better go with the seed
Yeah.
parable today because
What level of understanding are these at? But
Yeah.
I think like a larger point that it makes is there's something about this good news or what Jesus has to communicate that you cannot discern from the outside. Like I think like as they're able to hear it implies some sort of a relationship or a building relationship. And maybe the
Yeah.
kingdom of God is something that unfolds within that relationship.
Yeah, maybe it's that you intuit it, you get it intuitively, and you only get it intuitively when you're inside of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the parables maybe are just meant to kind of beckon people in,
Yeah.
as opposed to really explain, right? To
Right.
make it attractive and compelling,
Yes.
as opposed to actually being like, let me tell you, let me explain it to you.
Right.
It's more like, no, like, does this entice you?
Right.
This little story I'm telling?
It's just he's giving you some imagery for your meditation.
You do get hung up. I know we have at our church, we've done a lot of work on the parables because we're not agricultural people.
Yeah, right.
And so many of them are agricultural. We're very urban people.
Yeah.
And so we don't even have a great point of reference for so much of, what Jesus talks about in the parables. And you have
Right.
to do a lot of translations. So we've done parables like the kingdom of God is like what? And then people at our church have done kind of little mini sermons. The kingdom of God is like, one guy did like he's a long haul truck driver. Kingdom
Yeah.
of God is like long haul trucking. Another woman did a kingdom of God is like being a nurse in a hospice home. And like so
Yeah,
people kind of like
retranslate it.
if Jesus were telling these parables about the kingdom today, maybe he wouldn't be talking about a
Right.
farmer in a field. He'd be talking about a nurse in a hospital or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting.
So yeah, how do you preach this, and what exactly is it that you're preaching?
And what is the kingdom of God?
Yes.
Answer that one in 22 minutes.
All right.